In the heart of the podcast air, Steve or Jason showing flair. Fantasy tips they always share, for the elite who really care. Shout out to the guests who come along, strategies that make us strong, plotting moves that can't go wrong. In this community we belong. Elite FPL, the lights they glow, through the ranks we start to flow, with every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go. We analyze, we create, every game week we debate, from the captain to the late, moves that make us celebrate, points and transfers we all crave, following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game, fantasy football's true aim. Fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow, through the ranks we start to flow, with every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. We analyze, we create, every game week we debate, from the captain to the late, moves that make us celebrate, points and transfers we all crave, following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game, fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow, through the ranks we start to flow, with every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Elite FPL. And joining us tonight, we have the mighty Steve-O, who's doing much better than me in FPL, and a special guest underneath him, who
doing much better than me.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we're in consecutive order, worst to best. But hello everybody and welcome. Ray Joyce, Boone is here, FPL Alex the Kid, Trigger Talks FPL, also known as Trigger Lips. Leland Edwards here, Odin, Harry, Dazid. We've got Matthew Ezayeshi, we've got Animations, Clicker Stanley Paul, PK7 Woodstock Chris, USF1324. Evening lads, evening mate. Alf FPL, how's it going buddy? Alf's in the chat, Steve-O.
Hello.
PK7, I've already said your name. The double pivot is here. Hello, good evening.
Shane,
Joe,
probably.
Joe. Yeah, who is it? Who is it from the double pivot? FPL Galasto and Michael Sfledden. How you doing, buddy? Tonight we will be discussing a few things about Game Week 9. We'll be talking about team selections. We'll be talking about all things FPL. A few things about a movie that's coming out that we didn't know about called 28. No, it's not, is it? Is it? It's not, is it? Anyway, so welcome everyone. Come on in, get yourself a brew, sit down, washing up, whatever you're doing. and I hope you enjoy it. And a massive thank you to Andy for coming on. Andy, do you want to just say hello to the chat and introduce yourself? Let everyone know who may not know who you are.
Yeah, hi chat. Hi everyone. There's some good people in the chat. Like people I respect in the chat. Like there's no people I don't like in the chat, so that's good to hear.
I'll give it time.
Thank God for that.
Oh, don't worry, there'll be someone. I mean, you've obviously brought them all over, Andy. You know, because what was it last stream we had, Steve-O? What did we have in the last live stream we did? Literally was, I really like Steve-O in Elite FPL. Yeah. The other guy is just a waste of space or something like that.
I think the terminology was you're a clown or something.
That's because I just so happen to be not taking FPL as seriously as other years. But hey, it's all right. There's someone out there for everyone.
Well, ironically, Jace, that kind of applies to you, doesn't it, Andy? People think that you don't take the game seriously because you do these wild decision making regarding, for instance, not having Haaland until now, and people, what do you? You're a very, 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 very knowledgeable bloke when it comes to FPL, and
I take FPL more seriously than anyone I know. Honestly, yeah. I'm a single guy. I haven't got any family. I live on my own. I've got my Twitter. I've got my FPL, and there's not much more to me than that. In all seriousness, yeah.
God, sounds as depressing as my life.
Steve-O, do you have?
I love it.
I'm just trying to work out if Steve-O's got a new curtain.
No, I've just literally moved the table the opposite way around because I'm sick to death of every time I'm looking in the camera at you, I just see a bright light. And actually, it seems to have made the stream more aesthetically pleasing.
It looks good. Yeah. There's a what we call contrast now, which is nice. Instead of it being a white magnolia or whatever it is wall, it's now a black.
Well, if Nuclear Atoms is watching, maybe you could design me a giant FPL design based on my FPL decision for the curtains, and I could have like a background like that. You never know, to cover up the black thing. But yeah, I've just kind of swapped it around. It actually works for me a lot better. But you are aware, Jace, in fact, I don't think you are, but I'm sure the last time we had Andy on, which was like 2 years ago now, and I blame myself for that. I blame myself for not getting guests on regularly last year, but we're not going to go into that. Andy lives in the same town as Dan. And I'm pretty certain Dan has been to Andy's pier several times. And I've always told Dan that there's a guy down there with a big beard, wears a little beard. He wears tight trousers.
Little beard.
That picture you put up at Bournemouth Ground, can you please talk us through what the hell that was? I know what it's about, but
I mean, so you talk about Friday night, right?
Yes.
Insanity from me. So I watched the Leeds game Friday night. So I finished work at 8 o'clock, and I work at the beach anyway. So I came home 8 o'clock. I was home for Leeds game. They won 2-0 against Sheffield United. Great, brilliant. I was in good spirits. Had a beer. Watched the F1 sprint qualifying. So this is like 11 p.m. by that time. Looked on Twitter, saw things were like trying to see if Saka had travelled to the hotel. People were getting out rulers and measurements to see how tall he was. I saw some of that. And then I saw Jimmy G's post saying, I wonder if anyone can get down there and measure the sign. And I was like, it's 11 o'clock at night. I've only had one beer.
I'm a single man.
I'm a single man. I've got a car. I live 7 minutes away from the hotel. It's going to be empty, the roads. I can get down there pretty quick. So I thought, why not? And then I got there, got to the hotel, and it 5-minute drive. I was there. Knew where I was going, and then I saw the cordon off. The sign was cordoned off. So the wing of the hotel was where the Arsenal team was staying. So they stay in a separate wing, and the rest of the guests stay in another part of the hotel. But the separate wing was cordoned off. So I was like, oh, okay, I've reached this far. There's a sign in front of me. I recorded that. I had to then break the cordon. to get to the sign, to like stand next to it, to kind of measure it, just for a laugh. It's not going to help anyone really, but it's a bit of a laugh. So broke the cordon, and as soon as I broke the cordon, security guard comes out, and he's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, I don't know how to explain anything. And I was like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have a big FPL following, and we're looking to see if Saka travelled, and we can kind of judge it if I measure this sign. And he was like, "What are you on about?" kind of thing. I can't remember what exactly he said. He was like, "You need to leave." I was like, "Can you just take a picture of me next to the sign and then I'll leave?"
It's a scene out of extras. It's the same seat. Did you bribe him? It's either 60, it's either 40 or 60. 60. And there you are, stood by the sign. It's the same.
Stood by the sign, took a picture, and I was like, "I'll leave." And I didn't ask anything else. I was a bit like, my heart was racing. It was kind of exhilarating, and then I just drove home. I was like, "Okay, that's done." Cool.
It literally looked like that picture of David Brent when he's said to that large woman at the end. Like,
in the bar, yeah.
It's just, it was absolutely mental. Well, the main news is that Saka didn't travel, and we had all that. What is, in all seriousness, like you said, I don't even know if you said it on air or not, about Nick's video, Trigger Lips' video, that you're going to watch it, and I said it's really good, it's really worth watching. What is your personal take on all this cartel stuff and the insider knowledge and everything? Do you really care, or do you actually genuinely think there's a problem?
I don't care too much about stuff like that. I don't think there's a problem. In all honesty, I think a lot of people made a decision where they might have a weak bench. And a lot of content creators do have a weak bench because they've stuck a lot of money into their first 11. And if Saka was a doubt and there was no information and they couldn't rely on their first sub, I think it's a logical move. So they were forced into transfer. I probably would have done the same if I didn't have like Rodgers' first sub. But because I had Rodgers' first sub, that was my decision made. So if Saka doesn't, I was like, Saka plays 0 or like starts. I don't think he comes on, and I got Rodgers' first sub. So I don't think it's a cartel thing particularly.
No,
not on this case. There has been things in the past where people have got inside information and haven't been able to share it, but that's because they're worried about sharing it and getting it wrong, I think, even though they may trust the source. That's where it gets a bit shady. Stuff has happened in the past where people have got information, they've done things on their team, but they're worried that they can't put it on a deadline stream because of the backlash of it, even though they do it themselves because they're pretty confident on the information, but not confident enough to share it with everyone. And I think that's where it gets a bit shady. So like, I'm 80% sure Walker's benched, but I can't share it with my followers, but I'm going to do it on my team. I think that's where it gets a bit like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Nick's summarization of it all.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd like to watch the video. I'm going to watch the video. Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much summarizes it. I mean, he asked on X about what do people think about my video? Was it fair? Was it balanced? And I just wrote, at the end of the day, with any conspiracy theorist video, there's going to be some form of truth to it. And I think that's what he's done with it. He's brought us the facts, and there's going to be some truth in it. And a lot of it is going to be, completely unproven. But there'll be bits of knowledge that we know as the audience that are like, no, that's probably true. It's like you just said about the Walkergate stuff and everything. It's like with you, how you select your team. One of the things that I think a lot of people have respect for when it comes to you is that you make a lot of not necessarily bizarre decisions, but very calculated decisions, which seem to do very well for you. Like, for instance, not going Haaland this season to start with, because I know you've got him in now, and annoyingly did nothing at the weekend. What can you go through to the audience what your thought process is when it comes to not owning Haaland?
for me at the start, you get £100 million budget. So 15 million of that, I didn't see as a good way to start the season when I could afford other players. It seemed, for me, I was kind of set on this wildcard 4 strategy, which I did. And the players that I wanted from 4 to 6 didn't involve Haaland. Arsenal were good 1 and 3. So I was thinking, like, okay, Havertz for me is a standout in 1 and 3. I can kind of go against it and kind of have a stronger squad with Trent, Robertson, other players that I've had in since then as well, because you can kind of captain others. Like Salah, I started with Salah as well. You can captain other players against Haaland, because for me, game week 1 to 6, even though Haaland had some good fixtures, especially game week 2, like, okay, that was probably a week where I struggled. But in other weeks, there's going to be a captaincy against Haaland that I'm pretty confident on, which I've done quite well. But then come game week 8, when I bought Haaland, the captaincy was very hard to choose apart from Haaland. So that's why I brought him in.
Yeah, it's frustrating that. Did you watch the game against Wolves? I'm assuming you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched all of Sunday's games. Yeah.
Yeah, it was painful, wasn't it?
I can't remember him doing much. One missed shot in, that was it. He touched the ball like 13 times, I think, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm stating. I mean, I don't know if Jason's got your team up on the screen, but you're going to be captain.
Did you say you posted it?
It's in the Discord team screenshots.
In the Discord, yeah.
And
okay, I'll stick it up. One moment.
I mean, I didn't like my team for game week 8 and 9 anyway. But I felt Haaland captaincy was the right call now, because of the other players, other premium players weren't particularly great.
There we go. We got it there now.
So for me, it was a time to go for Haaland. Yeah, I probably regret it because of what happened, but looking at it now, Haaland captain against Southampton makes sense in my mind, even though he's been off form. It still looks decent. But I think that my decision making has been good. I just wish perhaps I stuck to my laurels and thought, yeah, it's still too expensive, and I still can do a lot more without him. So, but we'll see how these next couple of weeks go.
Yeah, when are you personally looking to take Haaland out?
I was hoping just to keep rolling and keep kind of trying to get as best I can to game week 12. So I have 5 free transfers game week 12 and just restructure everything. But I might have to use 1 or 2 before then. But I was planning to bring him in for 4 weeks and captain him for 4 weeks, and then get him out again.
Yeah. So Jason, do you want to read out Andy's team, please?
Yeah. Give me one moment. I'll just do that. I'm just changing something up here. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Okay, so in goal we've got Flecken. Flecken's in goal. We've got Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Lewis, and Davis as his back 4. We've got Rodgers, Eze, Saka, and Mbeumo as midfield, and Havertz and Haaland, his pair up front. Very good. I like this team. Very strong, very attacking. Dibbling on the bench. Saliba, of course, not legible for anything. Pedro, who's just like going to be. I mean, what is your plan with Pedro?
Again, it depends how long he's out for. I mean, it's not. Again, it's just a transfer I don't need to make.
You don't need to make it, yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm going to make a transfer, then I have to bench someone else. But I was looking at Pedro to like a Wolves striker, maybe Strand Larsen. I was always thought if I'm going to make one transfer in these 4 weeks, it would be Pedro to Strand Larsen in game week 10 when Wolves fixtures turn, and he looks pretty decent. So, not
interested in my friend Raul Jimenez then?
I prefer Wolves' fixtures for a longer period, but Jimenez is great. Jimenez is great. Like, I wouldn't put anyone off Jimenez, and he's got a good next 3, I think, isn't he? Like,
worth doing a -4 for, do you reckon?
I wouldn't. I don't want to take hits really, particularly.
Yeah.
Why-
I would be against that.
Just of interest, Andy, why Larson over Cunha?
Funds really.
That's yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's just
I
literally.
I think for $1 million, I think Strand Larson is just good enough. Like just swings it for me. The $1 million difference. Like, I like Cunha a lot. If they're the same price, I'd go Cunha. But where you're trying to scrape money by a lot, especially when you want other premiums to come back in game week 12, I think that third forward spot, Cunha, is quite expensive for the third forward spot. So then it stretches funds like even more so again.
And what are you doing with? Obviously, Saka's out tonight. Do you reckon he plays versus Liverpool?
I'd hope so. Hopefully he's a rest so that he is available for the Liverpool game. I don't think it's a big issue. If he's not available, then I'd probably have to do the João Pedro move like a week early to Strand Larson.
How much money have you got in the bank?
I think it was 0.4, 0.5.
Oh, so the loss of money on Pedro isn't going to affect that move at all then?
No.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, it sounds
I got enough to cover the drop. Yeah.
And it's just you've only got, as it stands right now, one free transfer.
No, I've got 3 free transfers. Sorry,
you've got...
no, two.
So when you said you were building up to game week 12, I just assumed that that's how you were building up to 5 free transfers, but you've got 3 now.
No, so I've got 2 now. Sorry, it's got 2.
So right, so you got 2 free transfers now, and you may have to force your hand into potentially getting Stroud Larson if we get news that Saka isn't going to be playing versus Liverpool.
Yeah,
do you think...
I was planning to kind of looking to roll all the time into game week 12, but if I get problems, which I have got a couple of problems there, then my transfer would be getting in the Wolves forward. And then having 4 free transfers for game week 12 to restructure them. But
do you like the idea? I'm assuming based on the way you're playing this season and how it's all been so far, you must love the 5 free transfers.
I do. I like the planning side of it. I do. I work harder than 4 as well, so that I didn't have to make a transfer until game week 6. So I saved transfers up until then, and then I could move back onto the Arsenal guys for their 2 good fixtures against Leicester and Southampton. But then wildcarded them out because they had City and someone else. But
yeah, you're somebody I know that has the balls to get rid of premium players because what is it you say you don't like, even though you were forced into it in this case, but you don't like playing premium team players versus, so basically top 6 teams versus each other. You don't like doing that, do you?
Well, I sold Palmer this week, just gone. So I did Palmer to Dibbling, so that I did Watkins to Haaland. So I didn't particularly want Palmer because he was at Liverpool, or he was at Anfield.
Yeah.
Newcastle and Manchester United, their average fixtures, they're okay, they're fine. He could do well, but then it's Arsenal. So I thought, as a 4-week period, I didn't particularly like Palmer. And yeah.
Well, I look at Palmer and think that he can do bits against anybody if he wants to. The Newcastle game, I don't think a problem whatsoever. The Man United away, I mean, some sort of Jason with a in fact, yeah, Jace. Chelsea away.
Don't get me started about Man United, please.
Well, we are, and but I don't think that Man United fixture is as tough as what people think. Arsenal at home, completely different story. And then obviously we then move into the decent fixtures of Leicester. Aston Villa at home, not great, but then Southampton away and Tottenham. So you'll be bringing in, obviously you'll be bringing Palmer back for that period.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So you're not looking to, are you, if Saka's fine, all good, are you not looking to get rid of Saka at all?
Not particularly, not for the moment. Like, not even Havertz either. I know I've got a couple of free transfers, but I just want to get through this tough period because I know coming out of the tough period, I want the Arsenal attackers. I think Saka and Havertz, we've seen when they're firing, they're very good. And I think I think they've been unlucky. Like game week 1 was great. I had both. I think they both got 12 points. Brilliant. Game week 3, they had an easy home fixture, and I think they were quite unlucky. Saka against, was it Leicester in 6 when he got like 3 points?
Mm.
Could have got a massive haul then. I think you have the Arsenal guys in good home fixtures. I think they'll deliver plenty of points. Yeah.
Even though so far without Odegaard, the fucking Burnley player, Odegaard, they're not exactly doing much regarding in front of goal.
I would say that in away games, but I think home fixtures, Saka and Havertz have been brilliant.
Mm.
And I don't think this team looks very good on paper in game week 9. I don't like it particularly because of the Arsenal-Liverpool matchup. But stuff could happen. I'm prepared to go with it.
Well,
I'm 1 week and ride it through. This is probably on paper like my worst team of the season so far, I think.
Yeah, I'm predicting that game. It's probably the hardest fixture to call on Sunday. It's going to be a very low-scoring affair, I think. I would not be surprised if it ended 0-0. 1-1, 1-0 to Arsenal, something like that. Maybe even 1-0 to Liverpool. It is going to be a very, very, very interesting game of chess. I mean, Jakes, do you have any thoughts on the Arsenal at home to Liverpool match on Sunday?
I mean, it's for me, Saka being fit or not, it's not looking good, is it? Let's be honest.
Mm.
I see Liverpool getting a result.
That's a fair shout.
And I'm worried that we may start to see Liverpool have a bit of fun and Salah punish a lot of people who decided that they didn't want to own him. And I think that could this be the resurgence of the Egyptian king? Do you want to know what there's something has gone through my head in the last 24 hours, which, let's be honest, I have raised a few eyebrows already this season over my decision making. I'm actually tempted to just free hit.
What, this week?
Yeah.
It's not exactly a great week to be free hitting, though, is it?
Well, no, but it will undo those transfers. It will undo the transfers that I did, Solanke and Johnson. And it will allow me to bring in a few differentials on you. And it might actually end up being something that could help me. Just have a few differentials in that team that other people don't own. And maybe reclaw back some of those points that I've been spending, Steve-O.
Well, if you're free hitting, you're looking at potentially you're definitely going to go a triple up a Man City. That's pretty obvious. Yep. So that's 3 players gone. You're probably going to double up on Brentford. So that's 5. But I would probably punt on Jared Bowen. That's 6. Maybe a Tottenham player, maybe even 2 Tottenham players. That's 8. Palmer 9. Then you got 2 slots left to potentially bring in an Everton player at home to Fulham, but even that fixture versus Fulham is just horrible. Maybe a Brighton attacker versus Wolves. You've got Aston Villa at home to Bournemouth. That's Watkins, if anything. So you've pretty much covered the 11 there. Is it really worth doing a free hit for those players?
Well, it all depends on how much value you put into a free hit. How much point value do you, Steve-O, put into a free hit?
In what sense do you mean?
Like in a typical season, what would you attribute a point value to a free hit? Say, I don't know, you're waiting for maybe a double game week, which has been lackluster in many seasons. What would you say is a good free hit score? I'd
be wanting from a single game week upwards of the 60, 70 point mark in a single game week.
So from a free hit then, 25, 30 points is what Alex the Kid has suggested in the chat. Would that be something which you'd like to have an edge on other rivals to justify using that free hit.
What if you got 25 to 30 points more
Yes.
than your other team?
Then say the rivals in your mini leagues. Would you say that's a good use of a free hit?
Well, it would be a good use, yeah, but I don't think you would make up 25 to 30 points with the players you'd bring in. Because you're going to be captain Haaland. Who else are you going to captain?
Well, you don't know, Steve-O.
Well, no, I know. The logic would dictate that you'd captain Haaland. He's the best captaincy this week. I mean, you could potentially...
Yeah, but logic might.
A Brentford player, and Burmo being one of them, of course, versus Ipswich. That's a possibility. You mentioned it the other day, Palmer versus Newcastle. That's a possibility. I could even argue Gerard Bowen at home to Man United. But then again, Man United, ironically, are probably better away from home than at home. So that probably end up with Man United winning 2 or 3-0. But there ain't that many captaincy options, Jace, that you're going to be...
Why does it all need to be about captaincy?
Well, because they're the ones that are going to get you that extra double points to make it worth the 25 to 30 points. Really? Because if you're bringing in a double Brentford, it's going to be... No. You're not going to go with, I don't know, Norsgaard or whatever his bloody name is, or Pinnock or anything. You're going to be just going and Burmo.
Are you suggesting that if I was to free hit, then I would still stick to the majority template that everyone seems to be rushing towards and not really gain much of an advantage?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
No, if I free hit, I would be bringing in completely different players.
Name someone.
I'm not going to name anyone.
I think Vista's a good option if he's fit. Like you'd have him Bremer and Vista, I think.
If he's fit, Andy.
He came on, so I think he's probably ready to go after another week.
I don't know, the injury.
And I don't think many would have Vista at home to Ipswich. I mean, that's a punt. I think there's. I think ready. You could go a treble City that's different. You could go Haaland as a safety net, perhaps, but then maybe 2 defenders that aren't the normal 2 defenders like Lewis and Gavardio. You could go against those 2 and have 2 other ones.
But the problem with that is that Pep Guardiola likes to swap around his defence quite a lot. Like there are a couple that are guaranteed to start. Ironically, you've just mentioned them, Lewis and Vardio, but the centre-back pairing are sometimes changed around a bit.
You'd hope they'd get 0 minutes, though, as a defender. So
but also don't forget, I've already taken a -8. So this free hit would automatically remove that -8.
Yeah, no, I know that. But I don't think there's that many different... I mean, going on what Andy's just said, if you're going Man City differentials, it'd be Gundogan and Gundogan and, I don't know, Foden or Bernardo Silva.
Well, it'd be Guardiola, Foden and Haaland would be 3 City.
So basically 2 of those 3 I've got.
Yes, but not everyone in the mid-league that I'm in has got Cordon.
Yeah.
You know, I would still class him as a widely acceptable differential at the moment. Son is another one.
It's becoming less differential, but...
Becoming less, but still, what is he now? He's owned by 6.6% as we speak of the game, which is still very much a differential.
Yeah, that's going to be 10.
And then so Salah, for another one that I would class Salah as a differential, because Salah
against Arsenal.
Against Arsenal. I do think Salah is going to do something. Yes, I would expect a goal or an assist, maybe both, against a depleted Arsenal team. Which, let's be honest, if Saka isn't going to play, if Odegaard and Saka is going to be out, that's their midfield drive gone.
Well.
They're one of the best defences.
Saliba's out as well, don't forget. But no, Arsenal are very much top heavy. They rely on a very, very fit first 11, I would argue. Yeah. And as soon as you start chipping away at their solid defence, which are one of the most solid defences in the league, so you start chipping away at that, and then 1 or 2 high-profile midfielders in the name of Odegaard and Saka start to go missing because of injury or whatever, then I do think that we are going to start to see some cracks in that midfield and defence. And I do think Liverpool are on the ascendancy. They have got the wind behind they've got the wind in their sails, and it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a few goals going in. So if I was going to free hit, and I haven't said I am going to do it, I've hit the button, but I'm very tempted. I would probably be looking at Trent, Robertson, and Salah.
I mean, as a free hit to go treble Liverpool away to Arsenal.
Mental, right?
That is crazy.
It is pretty.
Thank you,
but Trent is not a crazy decision, I don't think. Trent is very much involved in all things attack for Liverpool still, and I wouldn't say that that's a risk. Maybe Robertson's a push too far.
I mean, when do Arsenal not score at home though?
Yeah, but okay, forget Robertson. But Trent is not necessarily something which you want to have in for a clean sheet. And I think if there's going to be goals for Liverpool, which I do think 2 or more goals may be going in their favour, then I would like to probably hedge my bets with Trent.
I think you're better off going triple Everton defence than any Liverpool defenders.
I agree. Even though Fulham are going to win 1-0, but yeah, I do agree that.
I'd rather get like Tarkowski, Mikolenko, and Pickford in.
Let's be honest. Nobody knows what my free hit team will look like. Not even me. I've not looked at it. I've not tinkered with it. But what I would say is it's becoming more desirable the more I think about it. I probably should stop.
I would agree that if it was a better game week, for instance, take game week 10. That's probably a better game week than this one.
But your normal team should be good in game week 10. I mean, people talk about like free hit in 9 because they look at their team and think this isn't that good for this week. I mean, I look at my team and think that's not that great. There's a lot of Liverpool, a lot of Arsenal.
Well, yeah, I do agree with that. With my team, my biggest issue is playing 8 Nuri over Dunk, but I'm playing 8 Nuri because I brought him in this week. That's it. It's either
so for the I mean 8 Nuri. I mean, let's be honest, he's becoming a little bit of a maybe a bit of a buzzword in the FPL community. So it's like, oh yeah, it's bringing 8 Nuri. But I've just, I did, yeah. But for Andy, if you don't know, I am actually an avatar at the moment, and apparently I'm not a red panda anymore. I'm now a normal panda.
Could you just be a rabbit caught in a in the headlights?
In headlights, yes. But I have a comment here from Danny Paul saying, Jason, you need to do this all the time in all videos, and I'd say the sub count will rise faster. I mean,
trust me, Danny Paul, if you looked at our dashboard, we lose subs. So anybody that is watching brand new around here and enjoys this, make sure you are hitting the sub button.
Bowen is a good asset to pick, but kind of risky, says Tenzin in the chat. Arsenal are not the defence of last season, says FPL Alex the Kid.
Who do we think goes centre back for Arsenal, by the way? Do you think White goes centre back?
I was thinking that.
That's a good question. Who have they got fit?
What about that Keywall? Is he a centre back?
Yeah, he's not good enough to start. I don't think. And not against Liverpool. You wouldn't want Kivior going centre back, would you? Unless he goes left back and then Calafiori moves in. I don't know.
I was thinking Ben White immediately going centre back. Then maybe bring back from the dead Zinchenko, going out on the left or the right if he's available, because Calafiori is definitely going to play. Timber, God knows, doubtful. So their back line is going to be a bit shaky, but they're going to pack that. They're going to pack that midfield with Rice, Partey, and potentially Jorginho as well. Unlikely, but potentially, and then obviously the front three of.
Don't forget, Ben White is said to be close to coming back.
He had
a groin issue, didn't he?
He is playing tonight, I think.
Yeah.
He's back?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's back alive and kicking. So
I mean, if it's Zinchenko against Salah and Trent, then Jason might be onto something there.
Well, at the end of the day, I've had a lot of bad luck this season, and woe is me. And I think that, you know what, I'm just going to go YOLO and do something risky and hit the free hit, Steve-O.
Pickford, Tarkowski, Mikolenko, treble Everton against.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I could. I couldn't look at my team and and be happy with it.
Rely on Fulham not scoring.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it will be a particularly high scoring game week, so it might end up being if I get it right, if I get the free hit right, and I bring in some players that no one else has got that score, could end up being.
Well, that was game week 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As demonstrated by all our schools, unless your name's Dread FPL, all our schools are very similar.
I mean, I think if you beat your own score, if you beat your own team by 20 points, and you get say a 500k game week rank on a free hit, that's successful. Like you beat your own team by 20 points, you've beaten a lot of players. Fine, brilliant, good free hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people it's the same as a triple captain, isn't it? And they're like, oh, we have to wait till the latter part of the season when we've got fixture congestion and lots of potential double or triple game weeks. Nah, I mean, just when the need arises, you have the ability to do something like this and erase a -8, which was done in haste. Let's not beat around the bush here. The -8 was done in haste, and bringing in the players I brought in kind of have a bit of buyer's remorse, and I don't know if I really fancy having them. So it would wipe them out, revert me back to the team.
What is your team, Jace? Just remind the audience.
Do we have to get that up again?
Yes.
So it was Kanate out for 8 Nuri. It was I can't even remember now. I did
Solanke out for
Johnson, Solanke out for Raul Jimenez and Phil Foden. So it's very, I don't know.
But then what's the rest of the team?
Oh, okay, so we've got Raya in goal. Yes, Raya in goal. We've got Gabriel. 8 Nuri. Lewis. Saka, Foden, Palmer, Rogers, Mbuemo, Raul, and Haaland. Now, this is another thing, right? So Saka's in my team. He may not even play a minute in that game, which would mean that I would have Keane, who is, of course, an Everton legend, off the bench against Fulham.
Perfect.
Perfect. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I've got no one else. I've got Greaves, who is is unable to play. Is it hamstring?
He's injured,
hamstring. Yeah. And then I've got the one and only Lancashire, who's an absolutely null player that won't play a single minute for Spurs. But yeah, I mean, it's literally I've got some issues in this team in the sense of that if say Saka doesn't play, I am relying on my bench. I am relying on Keane, and then that is it. I've got no other wiggle room. There's nothing else happening for me in points wise. So am I happy this week with this team? No, but the following week I think I can go back to my previous team and be happy with it in game week 10. So yeah, I'm strongly thinking of hitting this free hit and just going radical and bring some radical selections in that no one else has got, or not no one else has got, but fewer people have got, and then try to attack it a little bit and hope for the best that it's going to be a low scoring game week and I get top.
I think that the radical decisions would be someone like Gundogan.
But it'd be Son. I mean, it's not radical, but Son, Salah, definitely.
Away at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'm bringing him in.
I mean, I'm not saying that Spurs can't win there, but Crystal Palace aren't. They're bad, but they're not bad. Are
Spurs travelling away on Thursday as well?
Please add more fire. Please, Andy, add more fire to this.
Yeah, don't worry. He's had his bran flakes. It's okay.
Bran flakes, porridge, mate. Porridge, always porridge.
I actually bought some of these. I went to B&M. For those of you who don't know, B&M is a retail outlet which stocks all things great and small. And I found some things that I shouldn't have probably bought. I bought some of these marshmallow mateys.
Oh yeah. It's just
is that a cereal? Is it? Or?
It's not really. No, it's marketed as cereal. I haven't had them for about 20 odd years, and I had a bowl of these marshmallow mateys. Or no, actually no. Were they Lucky Charms? They could have been Lucky Charms, and I felt like I was eating like just like sugar. Like it was sugar. Like it really was. And I had it before work. And bear in mind, I'm getting up at like, I don't know, 5 a.m. to get to work. And I'm getting I'm like sugar rush. And I got to like 7 o'clock and I'm crashing because all the sugar's gone. And I'm like, I need to go down to Morrison's. I need to get myself an energy drink. But
Sounds
no, I wouldn't recommend it.
There, Jason.
It's a healthy lifestyle, absolutely. I work it out. I work it out of me. Trust me, I do sweat. I sweat all of it out of me. But when I'm not driving, of course. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend energy drinks to anyone. But if you do and are partial for them and maybe need a bit of a lift, I would definitely recommend Rubicon Raw, blueberry and raspberry. I think it is. It's 20% real fruit juice.
Are you doing these 2-hour-long travels now, Jace, in the car? The commute?
So I travelled to Dursley, which is near Stroud, Gloucester way.
Yeah.
So that's about just over an hour from where I am. Now we're doing a job down there, and that job's going to be for the next couple of weeks. And after that, we are potentially going to be up in Nottinghamshire, above Nottingham, which is about a 2-hour drive from me in the morning, and then a 2.5-hour drive for me when I finish work in the rush hour traffic down the God forbidding M6.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be like 4.5 hours minimum driving,
and that's next week.
And my employer is actually, I think, okay with the fact that 50% of my working day will be driving, which is mental, considering I should be doing digging and installing pipe work.
And that's from next week.
Yeah, because at the moment, the way the world is, or certainly the way the UK is at the moment, there's a nasty fine looming for a lot of water companies, and if they don't get their shit in gear, especially on the sewage side of things, they're going to get themselves fined. So there's a lot of work.
For you, Andy, how close do you live to the pier?
So on Thursday, I start at midday, and I leave my house at 11:51.
Oh wow! Because I know Dan lives very close to the beach as well.
Yeah, so I live about a 5-minute drive. It's, like rush hour is a bit different. So if I start at 8, I'll leave at like 20 to 8. But
you drive there? You don't walk?
No, I drive. In the summer, I mean, I've got a parking space like on the cliff top right next to the pier. So
okay. How long would it take you to walk?
25 minutes.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. If it's just like a nice dry day or whatever, you can just listen to whatever podcast and then just...
Yeah, I mean, I have walked to work, but when I'm finishing late, it's not great walking home at like 11.
Well, I mentioned it on your post the other day. I don't understand why your pier closes so late.
Yeah, so we close at 8 during the, from October. We still close at 8 during the week, and then 10 on the weekend still.
I can't get my head around it.
I mean, it's really busy. Like, there's money to be made. So it's just to get them, it's worthwhile our opening at that late.
And how long have you been doing this job for?
3.5 years now. So I was working for a tool hire company. I was not enjoying it. Like, I was delivering tools basically in a van.
Did you also drive a flatbed?
I did, yeah.
Did you also drop off barriers?
I did, but those bloody barriers. Yeah.
Those bloody barriers. I lose count of how many times I have to carry those things.
I mean, a speedy tool hire is what I work for. But
I basically my life is dealing with speedy tool hire.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, the drivers are pushed beyond limits. I've spoken to many drivers, and they're ridiculous the rounds that they have to do. So I completely get it.
I mean, I was only there for a year. I sold life insurance for 15 years, and then I took my headset off. I was like to my manager, "I can't do this anymore. See you later." And
what was it? What was about selling life insurance something that you couldn't do anymore? Was it the being a salesman that you just felt that it was so against the fabric of your nature, or did you just
No, it
think
wasn't. It wasn't
there's more
necessarily.
to
I mean,
life than
I was pretty good at selling life insurance. It was just the fact that I was been doing it for so long.
yeah.
It was getting boring.
For 15
My
years.
whole lifestyle was kind of not great in a great situation. So people might know I used to gamble a lot, and it's because the job was so mundane and so boring. You're reading off the same scripts.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably had to say the same thing all over and over again. And I suppose when you're in that sort of situation day in, day out, you just want to release, do something which
Exactly
is
right.
exciting and thrilling. And yeah, definitely understand why gambling would have been an outlet for that, because, you know, it's unpredictable, right? It's the opposite of selling life insurance.
Completely right. Completely right. But I just one day was like, this is it. After a few years of trying to like go somewhere else and do something else, I was like, this is it. I'm just gonna go away because this is not my life. I don't want to be in this situation. I hate myself.
Mhm.
So did that and then delivered pizzas for a bit just to get by. Then I took a job at Speedy, and then this job came up, assistant manager at the arcade, and yeah, that's.
It's crazy because I actually used to work at an amusement arcade, and I actually used to quite enjoy it.
I do genuinely enjoy it. I love my job, and I love people are happy. Obviously, August is hell. But
do you have issues with people trying to bump the crane machines, and also the what did I used to have to deal with when I worked at Case Amusements in Torquay for about 2.5-3 years? We used to have teenagers coming in on the gamblers, and they would be like they would just be mouthy, but then we used to have people trying it on with the crane machines, obviously the 2p machines. I mean, not so much the 10p, the ones the what they call the pushers. The pushers, yeah. Constantly alarms going off on that. And underage people in the casino area. That's basically was.
I mean, we've got a gate on the over 18 casino area, which is manned a lot by people, and that's fine. We give the Nessa, oi, oh, if someone's banging, that usually works.
Yeah.
Issue. People try and scam off cranes saying I've won and stuff, and we're like, if it's not down the hole, you haven't won.
Yeah,
that's how easy to judge it, and it's just it's fine. Like as long as you know how to talk to people and treat people right, they treat you okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when the manager that I worked with, he actually he used to let people buy the toys from the cranes if they had gone to. They said, oh, if they put some money in and they haven't won it, he would actually allow them to buy the toy, like if they really wanted it, like
Yeah, I mean we're more stricter, so we're the only council-run arcade in the country.
No way.
Yeah, so the council own Bournemouth Pier Amusements.
But the thing is, I also knew the percentages that these things are charged at, and I knew that the payout percentages, and I was like, ooh. So if I think it was like roughly, and I may be inaccurate by a little bit, but I think for every £20 that went in, there was a win. And that was like the toys were like worth a couple of quid. Like they were buying in these like plushy toys or little tiny teddies, and like for every £20 they were set. Some people were like, I'm the king of the machines, and I can win every time, but they actually were set to pay out after every £20. So like people would you probably would agree, you've probably seen people like literally stand and watch, right? It's the same on the gamblers, right? They stand and watch and wait to see.
Yeah, I mean that's mainly like the main issue. We've got a few like prowlers who stand behind machines until someone's finished paying it, and then will jump on.
Yes,
especially gambling.
Yes,
so that's one of the big issues. But like you say, for us as well, it's probably £20, around about £20, depending on what toy it is.
Yeah,
and they cost £5 a lot of these plushy toys. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. So some people get lucky, and many people they don't get so lucky. But it's like you said, lots of people go in there with a happy face, smile, and have fun doing it. So at the end of the day, that's what people.
Most people on holiday. So
exactly,
it's always a nice environment, and I really enjoy it. The good thing about it is You're seeing different people each day. You're talking to people. So today I was chatting to people. I was engaging with people that come in. It's just a nice atmosphere. You can get a cup of tea when you want. There's no pressure. You can go outside and walk down the beach if you want for a bit. It's a working environment that I want rather than sat at a desk with a headset on.
There's more unpredictability in that environment.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
And going back here, there is a comment in the chat. You feel free to answer if you wish. If not, then we move on. How is obviously your history? Obviously, you mentioned gambling, the highs and the lows. How does that hold up working where you work now? And has it kind of like? I guess the question is, has it impacted your thought process towards gambling by working in an amusement arcade?
I wouldn't say that, but I can relate to people that are gambling.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to deal with self-exclusions.
Yes, Gamaware.
So and people come to us, so like they may have lost money or won money and self-exclude themselves. And
sorry, could you explain what that means? I have no idea what you're talking about.
So if someone can self-exclude themselves from a certain area, so they can't come into a gambling site within like
establishment.
Yeah.
And also, I guess you have a few other arcades in the area that you communicate between them. That's what we used to do. Yeah. So like if someone self-excludes, then it is you basically bar them, and they're barred for other. Again, it's a very good initiative because it's like a lot of addictions. One day they recognize it and then they have an issue, and then the next day they're trying to get back in. And you have to say no, but it's an important thing. It's a very important intervention. Obviously, responsible gambling is very fun, very addictive, very enthralling, and very exciting. But unfortunately, there are few people that may not know when to end, and that's the people that suffer the most. And certainly, recognizing it from your point of view, and people that recognize it for themselves, which is fortunate when they do. It's a really good initiative, Gamaware. Lots of lives and relationships, and get ruined because of it. And if you can identify it early and solve it, you might just save someone.
Yeah, exactly right.
But yeah, that's a heavy topic and certainly worth a complete discussion on its own. But going back to FPL, do you want? I don't even know where to go now from that conversation.
I mean FPL. I mean, just to explain as well. I mean, people know this, but I took up FPL seriously to stop, like, to kind of having another addiction that was.
It is another addiction, yeah.
That was not harmful. FPL,
yes.
So I can deal with losses in FPL.
Like a non-destructive addiction, yes.
Correct, yeah.
Because I can be honest with you, I had many years ago, I actually had an addiction to this silly little mobile game that I was playing. And
like
it was
fans or something.
It was yes, it was something like that.
Okay.
It was hang on, I'll tell you the name of it because I am curious now. It was many years ago. It was like many years ago. Hang on. It was a castle. It was one of those Clash of Clans sort of spin-offs. I think it was Castle Clash was the name.
Nice.
And it was a mobile game. And back then I was working all night at an airport. So I would work night shifts, 12 hours, 7:30 to 7:30 in the morning. And I would be so bored that I would play this game called Castle Clash on my mobile phone. And I had an unhealthy obsession with this mobile game, and it got to the point where in order to get further in the game, you had to essentially get the in-game currency to purchase items and heroes and shit like that. And I tell you now, that like 79p here, 4.99 there. You press a button and then you get it. You try and then you're doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, like literally like 6 months down the line. You don't realize what you spent until the end of the year. and my accountant has said that I'd spent like, I don't know, it was like something ridiculous. It was like £2,500 or something on mobile transactions, and I was just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is a problem. So I was like, I actually just deleted the game.
Nice. At least you saw the problem, and then it was.
Oh man, I mean, but it's the same thing as like credit, isn't it? It's the same thing as like having the ability to get something by pressing the button on your phone, like money going out of your account. It's not the same as notes and coins in your pocket. You can visibly see what you have left. Whereas when you've got your bank account, you've got you've just basically got. I mean, nowadays you do get alerts, that you do get like notifications, but I think back then it was literally just like Google Play purchase, and it was like just it's really bad actually. Mobile games are predatory, and I do have an addictive personality. But if I get fully consumed into something, I have to be like, how can I put it? If I get fully consumed into something, I feel like I have to achieve and be at the top of what I'm consumed in. And these games make you essentially force you into paying for things to get further in the game. And it's a very predatory, psychologically, mindfuck of a system, which has been I'm sure it's been proven psychologically to be a genius way of getting people to spend money. And I would certainly recommend anyone that's I don't, full transparency, this was very many years ago. This is like back in like 2012 2011. Once I realized I was spending that much money on a mobile game, I've never played a mobile game since. I've since kicked that habit. But certainly I would implore anyone that's playing these sort of games to work out, how much they're spending on them, because you may be quite horrified. But yeah, I guess what we're trying to come back around and say is like we all have our own weak spots.
I think with these games you can tell how well they're doing and how much money they make. They get like Katy Perry endorsements. You see her advertising, or David Beckham. I think I've seen these like in adverts for these games. They must be so lucrative. And
these games are generating
ridiculous.
A lot of them are from China. These Chinese companies that have loot boxes and everything, which are quite a common tactic for game companies to, especially young people. I think the closest thing I can come to in terms of loot boxes is FIFA Ultimate Team, and how that is essentially a loot box. You know that you've got a small chance of getting something, but you don't know what you're going to get, and you throw in coins or whatever. So when I used to do it, I used to play FIFA. It was earlier days, so it wasn't as crazy as it is now. And when you buy the game, you got a certain amount of coins, currency to spend. But I hear horror stories about what young kids and their parents spend on them for these Ultimate Team packs and stuff. Because the biggest scam of all, and I will finish my soapbox talk in a second. The biggest scam of all is that this thing resets in 12 months. There's a new FIFA game, and everything you spent on it no longer is your property. And certainly it gets reset when the new FIFA game comes out. And also in the terms and conditions on these games, you don't actually own any of these items that you purchase. And as soon as the servers go off and the game closes down, that's it. Toodle pip. That's it. It's I have a distaste towards these sort of things, and things were a lot simpler back in the day. But yeah, I will stop now.
Hopefully FPL don't bring in £10 for a free transfer. That would kill the game forever. Right?
Well, they did try to do a paid game, didn't they?
I don't know. Did they?
They did.
Yeah,
they did. They did
4 years ago, wasn't it?
It was more. Was it 4 years ago?
No, it was 4 years ago.
Ultimate fantasy football. Yeah, it was basically a paid fantasy football game, and you had cash prizes, if I remember rightly.
Okay, I don't remember.
So instead of winning like a goodie bag or good merchandise, you could actually go in for like manager of the month and actually in cash prizes.
Didn't you pick a squad of 25 players, wasn't it?
It was more to pick from. There was slightly different. I'm sure there were slightly different rules,
Yes, yeah.
and it lasted for. I would like to say it lasted for a season. It stopped. They completely scrapped
Well,
it.
it's like FPL Challenge. Does anybody even know that exists anymore? Like Alex Vollo can have a laugh about it on X, like he'll post about it, but even that's getting to the point where it's a parody of itself. It's do you play it, Andy, FPL Challenge?
No, I don't. I definitely don't. I mean, it looks ridiculous. I've seen some teams on post on X, and like this week it's Asian players, and it's okay, great. Enjoy it. Enjoy the 6 players you got to choose from or something.
Do you think that they're using that as a model to see what versions of their challenges work to then bring into FPL? I don't mean like you've just said the silly things like Asian players or whatever, but certainly things like, I don't know, a chip for strikers to get double points in a week or whatever. Do you think that there will be some rules at some point coming from that game into the main game, or do you think they're just going to keep the FPL as simple as possible?
I mean, I think they're trying to work out the mystery chip by FPL Challenge.
Yeah.
Like, which works best? Then we can introduce that for the mystery chip.
Yeah. What do you have
I don't think they've got a clue still about what they're doing.
No, I'll tell you what was funny. So this is why I love live streaming, because people can't edit anything out. And Praz, who's quite close with official FPL, he openly said that they genuinely don't know what the mystery chip is.
Yeah.
And if he's saying
I can believe that. I mean, I can totally believe
Yeah. So can I.
They'll have a meeting in early December. Like, so guys, what are we going to do for this mystery chip? We'll try double striker points. Okay. Yeah, go on.
In fact,
I actually missed I missed the chip all out attack.
Play 2 defenders.
No, I know it was a very simple chip, but at least it was another different type of like thought processes that went into the game, where you could like, for 1 week you could just play an extra attacker and reduce down to 2 defenders. I like that chip. I don't think it was an awful chip. I don't think it was very exciting. Don't get me wrong, but it certainly had a bit of thought process that went into it and excitement.
I mean, I came up with an idea for mystery chip, and I quite liked it. So, give the player a choice, and I don't know what your answer would be to this, but you have 3 options. You get 1 million transfer value as one option, 10 extra FPL points, or 2 free transfers, and you choose which one you want.
Well, say that again.
So say the mystery trip, right? You get 3 choices of what you can do to your team. You can either have an extra 1 million transfer fee.
An extra 1 million transfer fee. What do you mean by that?
Well, budget.
It's a budget. So you click the button, you go, okay, I'm going to choose an extra 1 million for my budget. And that's the mystery chip. You clicked an extra 1 million for the budget. Or you can decide to have 2 extra free transfers, and you get given that. Or you get an extra 10 FPL points added onto your score. And it's your choice.
It's not the most like for me, I would like the idea of some weird multiplier coming into play. I had an idea, Steve. Do you remember what my idea was? And I really liked it, but I forgot what it was. Can you remember what it was?
No, I don't remember.
I called it a mystery chip, didn't I?
You called it the mystery chip, yeah. I
but what was it? It was something along the lines of chat. Anyone remember what my insane idea was for a chip in FPL? I actually called it a mystery chip. Do you know what? What do you guys think about this? A chip in FPL that you would play, and it would randomize your team, but it would randomize your team based on transfers in, so it wouldn't give you like a player that would never play. It would give you, say, I don't know, the top, I don't know, 15 most transferred in whatever position, midfield, attack, defender. It would randomize it.
But then surely everybody would have the same team.
No, it wouldn't be that case, because there'd be enough position. So basically, it would be like a choice of, I don't know, 20 defenders or 30 midfielders, 25 attackers, let's say, and maybe not that many, 15 attackers, and you press the so it would be basically a randomizer, a team randomizer based on minutes played and transfers in. And then what would happen is you press the chip, I'm going to randomize my team, and on every single player it would be a question mark, and you wouldn't know what player you had in until, listen to this is the greatest part of it. You ready? Drum roll. The player had played their game. That then reveals.
Right, yeah.
So the player plays the game, it reveals the player, and you're like, oh, I had Palmer. Oh my God, and he got 2 goals. And you don't know you had him until the game starts.
Imagine if FPL had that capability in their locker. I don't think they do.
Oh my God. It'd be like the curtain would drop, you'd have Palmer, and then the next game would go, and you go, oh, I've got, I don't know, someone like, I don't know, but it would also be quite interesting because you'd be rooting for like the odd player that like you would never have thought of getting in, and it would still be a good player. It still would be a pick, but it wouldn't be necessarily a template player.
These are.
So you'd be like, I've got Van Dijk in my team, and he scores a header, like something crazy. Like
it won't be. It will literally be as tight. I think it's Tyler that said it. Basically, it will be your vice captain is also allowed to be your captain, so you get 2 captains. Basically, it will be something like that, or it will be as.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Or a limitless free hit.
Yeah. It's It's not going to be some chip which is
no. It's not going to be. It's not going to be anything like that. But for me, that would be fun. But then I'm looking at it from a fun point of view and not from a serious point of view, because Melissa in the chat makes a very good point. Terrible idea. Smack me down. So put all the work
all our
in.
Female demographics gone. Well done.
Put all the work in, and then a random chip loses you the title.
Yeah, I don't like the idea personally either.
Oh, thanks, Andy.
Sorry, Jason. I'm with Melissa.
That's another subscriber gone.
Someone's put here like.
I like the ideas. Keep the ideas going.
I like to have the ability to deduct 20 points off a rival in the mini league.
See that?
That would be ridiculous. That would be overpowered. That would be so overpowered.
Imagine how many people would take 20 points.
Imagine if everybody used it on the top guy.
All the content creators, right? You would just. How many points would Raptor lose?
It'd be like the meme. It would be such a meme, wouldn't it? You'd be like suddenly on minus FPL points because you've had like hundreds of people like reporting, like not reporting, but putting you as the team that they're going to use to deduct points from. Oh yeah, what rank are you? I'm minus 6,200 FPL points because I've been downvoted by everyone.
I'm sure that'd be the case for me. Definitely, I would be ridiculously low amounts.
I think it's going to be something so basic, like Andy just said: unlimited transfers for the week, double points for striking.
That's just a wild card. That's just a free hit. That's just a free hit.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's going to be something like that.
Why would it be the same as the free hit? Unlimited transfers for a week.
FPL, they don't come up with.
I think the word you're after is risk averse.
When did they say it's going to be coming into play? Can you remember?
Next year,
January, I think. Yeah.
Oh, January specifically.
I think it's like exactly halfway through the season. I think.
Right. So if you're looking at
after the first wildcard.
Right. So the 4th of January. I'm looking at the fixtures here. There's nothing really of standout. The following week, Tuesday the 14th, which funny enough is on BT Sports. Maybe they will be doing something in collaboration with BT Sports where all the games are being aired that particular week on BT Sport, and it'll be, all players get
midweek?
double points or something.
I've got an idea.
Midweek, yeah.
I've got an idea for a chip.
Yeah,
Do
go
you
on.
want to hear it? Do you want to hear it or not? Go on.
Okay, check this out. How about this? Chip, you hit it. The highest scoring. Okay, no, hang on. Let me rephrase this. You get to pick. Okay, let me just think. You get to pick a captain for each position. Your defense, midfield, and attack.
Yeah, again, that's what I think it will be. Something as simple as that.
So basically, so you'd be able to pick, because no one hardly ever captains a defender, right? So you'd be able to pick a captain of a defender. So say you've got 3 at the back, you could choose one of them as your captain, one of your midfielders, and one of your attackers. I think that's a good idea, and it's not going to break the game because, well, I mean, it could be quite crazy. I mean, if people got a massive haul, but I mean, realistically, what people are going to get like from that 25, 30 points extra max. It's not going to break the game, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I play Norwegian fantasy. They've got a few different chips where they've got a double captain, like we've mentioned already. They've also got an all-out attack where your 3 forwards are captain for 1 week. Something as simple as that. It'll be surely.
Yeah, it may even be revolving around the January transfer window and the final week.
Yeah, if the chip was all 3 forwards get double points 1 week, I think that's quite. I've enjoyed that chip in Norwegian fantasy.
Yeah, they're going to take inspiration from other games, and so for instance, the final week of Premier League, specifically before the January window closes, is on Saturday the 25th of January, and well, because they haven't scheduled all the football matches, so it actually would be Saturday from game week 24, Saturday the 1st of February. But if it's going to be in January, it will be the week before that in game week 23. And it may be something like, unfortunately, it could be just an additional wild card. But I don't think it will be that. I think it's exactly what Andy just said. It's going to be all your strikers.
Can I just say one thing? If they make it something really shit, then I'll be super disappointed.
It probably will.
The fact that they've called it the mystery chip.
Mystery chip is another word for we don't know yet chip.
No, but it also invokes excitement and hype.
Well, can I just
it
does say here the mystery chip will be playable from January. So that means that it could be used any point between January up to May.
Yeah, that's what I think it would be. Yeah.
Mm.
But for the second half of the season, we've got another chip that's coming.
Yeah.
That again, we'll probably be able to play in double game weeks where it probably be most beneficial.
Yeah.
So where you
imagine if it's like a 10x multiplier.
10x. I've got 134 points this week. That's 10 times. I've got 1,300 points.
10x.
Oh, well done. I didn't play my 10x this week. I got 60.
Oh my god!
You've gone 1,000 and 1,200 ahead of me.
Yeah. Enough of the bad ideas. I think up for this. I'll go back to dreaming up my free hit team.
10x. I mean, you play 10x and you might get 30 1 week, and you might 10x another week and get 130 points.
Yeah, I mean the 10x would be proper salt. People would be so angry at that because you know that people would lose mini leagues and come from like mid-table. Yeah. Well, I don't play fantasy football. What are you about? Go for mid-table and then hit the 10x and like hit the jackpot on. Oh my god, it would just be ridiculous. Trent, Bowen, and Visser captain in 1 week would be too good, says Danny Boy. I think Danny Boy likes the idea of defender, midfielder, attacker, captain. I think it's not. I don't think it's a bad shout.
That's a good idea. That's your best idea, Jason.
I know. I think I should go to FPL Towers. Has anyone here got contacts in FPL Towers? We can send them. Say, look, it's not too late. Your boring mystery chip could be changed right now by having a triple captain, but a triple captain and triple positional captain, defender, midfield, attack. There we go.
I mean, is Gianni in the chat? He's got contacts, hasn't he? Or...
Clip it. Says the raccoon said, or the whatever I am. A panda says, do it.
You just of interest, Andy. Are you keeping up to school date with your leads?
No, actually, I'm guessing we're winning though, right?
Do you want to know the score?
Yeah, go on.
You said, it'd be an easy 2-0 win, yeah?
I did. Is it more?
You were 2-0 up at half time.
Okay.
It's now Leeds 2, Watford 1. So yeah, there's a lot of draws tonight. We've got.
I'm gonna watch the extended highlights later, but okay.
Yeah, it's one of those seasons, Andy, which you've got quite a few teams this year in the Championship. They're all going to be challenging for the playoffs. Do you want to be going up to the Premier League, or are you like me, where it's just I just can't be bothered to go through all that crap again?
I think we need to go up, particularly. Really.
Why do you need to go up? Just of interest.
Finances.
Okay.
We'd kind of like we gambled on. We got some money back in the summer, so we actually made some good transfer fees from Somerville and Ruta. So we actually got a bit of money to tie us over, but we had a lot of quite high wages and gambling on like bouncing back up. But with the summer transfers out, we kind of were okay financially again. But I think still we need to go up this season because there's still players on high wages who would be looking to go elsewhere. And again, we probably need another mass sale of a couple of players to keep afloat.
Well, if schools stay the same as they are, you're going to be with admittedly Sunderland a game in hand. You'll be joint top.
So
If not,
are Burnley playing tonight?
No, we're playing tomorrow against Hull. 0-0, 1. It's all our games seem to be 0-0 or 1-0.
Is it Sunderland Plymouth tomorrow? Is that, or was it who's Luton?
I don't think it's Sunderland Plymouth. No, it is. I can tell you immediately. It is. It is Luton away.
Yeah, Luton. Tough game.
Yeah, that's a very difficult game.
Steve, I think I worked out what this mystery chip is.
Okay.
Reinstate all points spent in the season.
Say it again.
So reinstate all the points you spent on hits in the season.
You wish.
I'd win FPL.
Cole on the agreement with Andy here asked the cartel about the mystery chip. It is. I mean, we already asked Andy's opinion, but it is very funny that the whole thing of the cartel and everything. And who made up the cartel name anyway, Andy? You're very up to date with what's happening on X. Was it Alex Volo that started it all, or was it someone else?
I thought it was Fly that started it, but I could be wrong. That's the first I saw. But like Saturday is a busy day for me. I was working Saturday. I didn't really see much until the evening. But so Cartel's a great name. There's a lot of memes, a lot of funny things.
So you were made aware of this whole thing in the evening, then, were you?
Only because I was looking onto it in the evening. I think it happened during the day on Saturday.
Okay.
I think Fly might have come up with it, but I don't know.
And then bang, it just took off from there. Where
I mean, I will send you a video, guys. Actually, remind me, Steve, to send you a video that I made today that I didn't think I could post on X. I was close to doing it. So I was in the safe today at work, and there was a lot of money in the safe. And I was like, I did a video where, all right, Andy Mears, okay, I'll get your money. But
Andy Mears, that's mental.
But I didn't think I could post it on X because it's like the workplace safe.
Yes.
So, yeah. Ideally not, but I can send you it.
I think that's the problem with a lot of. In fact, funny enough, actually, you do a lot of videos from your peer. Have you ever had any form of backlash or anything like that from it, or does it always nothing you hear? I don't
think my boss has seen it yet. She might have a word if she did see some stuff. I think. But
oh, interesting. Okay. There's nothing that you do that's that bad. You just bring out.
It's not breaking section. No, exactly right. Yeah.
What's his name? Elmo. You just bring him out and have an attack on Flapjack. That's it, done.
I wish you had the Elmo profile still, because it doesn't make sense anymore that I'm attacking Elmo and tagging Flapjack. People don't know. He's He's more of a Southgate lover now.
Yeah, what is that all about? What?
He grabs hold of something and he just won't let go. Like same with Rico Lewis. It's his new toy.
Do you talking of Southgate and whatnot and the whole thing? How patriotic are you towards England football?
I'm pretty patriotic, but I don't care. It's a German manager.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You don't, because I couldn't give a stuff about it anyway.
Can I say I don't feel the same way about England as I did when the golden generation of footballers played.
Terry Venables.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I'm just more bitter. But when I remember just revering England as a team back in the early 2000s, 2002.
But that would be your age. Like Jason, that would be your age, though. Right?
That's what I mean. I think that's what it is. I think it's just the nostalgia, the love of, like, obviously back then we had some insane players. Paul Scholes, I mean, just probably the best England midfielder that's ever existed, in my opinion. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard.
Isn't this the problem with England? England, full stop. Again, I'm not going to profess to be any form of expert in any of this or any knowledgeable person, but isn't that the problem with England? Is that they got so many high quality midfielders that, a bit like with FPL, funny enough, you can't have them all.
Trying to squeeze too many good players in positions they're not familiar with.
Yeah, precisely. And by all accounts, again, I don't really keep up to date with anything other than what I hear on the radio or podcast, and the fact that, against Greece, rather than playing Watkins or Solanke, he plays a false number 9 in Jude Bellingham or whatever. I just think it's absolutely absurd. And it's kind of some of the reasonings as to why I just cannot stand England, because I remember when I went off England, it must have been about the 2006, 2007 era, where there were players in the Premier League who deserved to be called up. They never did. They still continue picking the same old ones, and they.
But Steve-O, like, did you kind of butting in? But did you have? Again, it could be an age thing, but I had so much more optimism with England.
I've got more optimism now than I have.
No. I had much more optimism 20 years ago. I don't have any now. In fact, I'm actually
despite the fact they've got to 3 finals or 2 finals and a semi or whatever it is.
I just don't have the optimism. I think it's because I'm old and bitter. But seriously, I don't even rate our chances to win anything. I think we're overrated. And I think we're drama queens, and we're probably not going to win a major tournament for a long, long time.
I completely opposite. I think we're the best squad in the world, so we should be winning.
Yeah,
we're not the best squad in the world.
I think
as a nation we are arrogant to think that.
Oh, I'm completely arrogant. My ego is like gone.
Yeah, but I'm more of a realist. Like I look at other teams, and I look at other nations, and I'm like, these guys play as a team. England don't play as a team; they play as individuals.
But that's going to change. That's going to change with Tuchel as a good manager.
Yet to be seen if it will change with Tuchel. I mean, if Tuchel can find a way of getting those egos in check and playing well together as a team, then yes, completely. My analysis of England would be completely different. But I would say the optimism for England has waned over the years, and I guess that I'm probably in the minority.
For me, I'm old enough to remember Euro '96, and I agree that
I remember,
like, the feeling around England was so high.
Yes.
And if that was if there's one tournament I wish we'd won, it was that one, because of how good the nation felt at that time.
'96 was a special. Like, again, it could just be nostalgia, and I could just be going back to my younger years and thinking it was just the better times. Like a lot of people say, oh, the golden, the better days, but. I do feel like the nation and the buzz around England was different, and I think that there was like, we are going to win, that we are going to do this, and it was like, I don't know. Maybe we can get that back.
I mean, you said about nostalgia, so I was only 11 in 1996, but my granddad and dad would also agree that the whole feeling around England as the football team, but also the nation, was peak in mid-90s. Everything seemed good, and if we won the tournament at that time, it was a proper high, and it was a proper low when we lost. And Southgate.
Oh my God, yeah, it was a great kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Gaz's toe.
I cried. I think that's one. I think I did.
Yeah.
I was, what is it? 96. I was 10.
The optimism was there, wasn't it? It was.
Oh my God, I literally, my was broken in that tournament. Yeah.
What is the music that accompanied it with "It's coming home, it's coming home"? It added to that emotion.
Everything was happening, man, back then. It was just, it was almost like England stopped. Yeah. England stopped. Like for example, now the tournament goes on. I mean, we've come close. We've got to final, yeah, but it felt like the whole country stopped and was behind England in 1996. It really did feel like everyone was behind England, and it was just the wind was in the sails of Britannia. And it was
we couldn't lose, and that's the thing. It was it felt like
yeah,
this wasn't going to be the end. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Thanks for reliving that trauma. Yeah, cheers. No. Would I want Tuchel to come in and stir things up in that England camp? Absolutely. I think
there's big decisions to make because there's enough star players that he has to leave one or two of them out, and I think he's the man to do that. I think Southgate's a bit weak in that regards, but Tuchel won't worry about upsetting people. So
yes, exactly what I was about to say.
He has to leave out if he's going to play Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, Saka. He has to leave out one of them in his best 11. It's not going to be easy, but he's got to make, and I think he's strong enough to do that. Where someone like Southgate or Carsley it's easier to leave out Watkins when it's the wrong thing.
Dally Paul does make a good point. England team full of United players in the early 2000s as well probably helped you, Jason. Probably did, to be fair. I mean, I hadn't thought of that because, for me, I always separated club and country, and I've always had that same passion to see England do well. But the early 2000s squad was, for me, we had such a great team.
I think the caliber of the back four and goalkeeper for England was better in the early 2000s. If we had the same caliber as Ashley Cole, Rio, Terry, Gary Neville in his peak, maybe even Seaman, would that kind of elite defence. I think we're lacking that for England at the moment.
Yeah, I'll name some names. 2002 World Cup. Can anyone remember what World Cup it was? I actually had the bottles of Coca-Cola.
Teddy Sheringham playing for him?
South Korea and Japan, right?
It was indeed. And I remember the logo. I had the bottles with all the... Do you remember the bottles with the England players on? The Coca-Cola bottles. I collected them all. Anyway.
Did one of them have Danny Mills on?
It did, yes.
Legend.
It had... So, so here's some names. Danny Murphy, Trevor Sinclair.
Are you just naming crap TalkSport hosts now?
We've got Campbell.
Shearer's got to be there, surely.
We got Owen. Beckham, obviously Fowler, Owen, Heskey.
Heskey?
Yeah, Heskey. We've got Wayne Bridge. Oh my God, Wayne Bridge. A name that I haven't thought of for many years. Arsenal legend Martin Keown.
It was still the 4-4-2 era, though, wasn't it? With kind of
it was, yeah.
Owen and Heskey up top.
Of course, Gareth Southgate in there. Sheringham was in there, 36-year-old Sheringham. Owen Hargreaves, youngster, 21.
Ashley Cole, had he made it yet?
Was that Ashley Cole, 21-year-old Arsenal, yeah. He played 8 games that season.
Neville surely was in there. Phil Neville as well. The Mitchell brothers.
Neville.
Yeah. We got Nicky Butt. David James was the backup. Kieran Dyer.
Kieran Dart, yeah.
Here's a name that I'm going to read out, and you're going to go, oh my God. His first name is Darius
Vassell.
Vassell.
Good Lord, yeah.
Oh my God.
Aston Villa legend.
Oh my God. Darius Vassell. Oh my goodness.
The second most famous Darius, right?
What
second
the
most
one
famous.
after the pop star's idol, whatever it's bloody called. God rest his soul.
Hit me,
You know.
baby, one more
I don't know.
time. Do you remember that?
Darius Vassell began his junior career playing for Birmingham's Boys League, Romulus FC, for where he signed as a youth to Aston Villa.
Mm.
Wow. Crazy. Anyway, nostalgia hits hard. It really does. Those were the days. But yeah, what's the next segment? What are we doing now, Steve-O?
I think we can just end on a bit of FPL again here, just going back to Andy's team just quickly. So pretty much, Andy, this 4-4-2 you're playing is going to be your team.
It's going to be it. If Saka's out for Sunday, then I will probably make a change of João Pedro to Strand Larsen the week early and keep Saka.
Okay.
I don't think I can afford Saka to Palmer straight away, and I could go Saka to Son, but I think I want Saka long term. So I think João Pedro to Strand Larsen and bench Saka if he's out. Otherwise, yeah, it's a roll and go with it, because I think those players are pretty nailed players. Maybe not Lewis so much, but the rest look okay.
Oh, Lewis will be playing against Southampton. It'd be I'd like to think, depending obviously what happens in the Champions League, where I think Man City are at home, aren't they? So I think that they're going to get past whoever they're. It's Prague, or is that Arsenal playing? I can't remember who Man City playing.
Yeah, City got someone easy, I think. Someone.
Yeah, some crap team that I can't bloody think who the hell they are. But the point being is that, yes, they'll get through whoever it is. Then they got Southampton, and then it's on to the slightly more tougher fixtures. And then I think the downside for you, like you state, is that you've got, if Saka plays, 2 Arsenal players, attackers, versus 2 Liverpool defenders. And
yeah, it's what it is, isn't it?
I think for you, perfect outcome would be Liverpool to win 2-0, because that would be a big differential that way for you. But if Arsenal were to win 1-0 and Havertz and Saka do nothing, I mean, where is your rank, Andy? Is it like 400k, isn't it, or something? It was a lot higher.
Yeah, dropped a lot. So I only got 23 points this week. So I went from 140 down to 430.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Four something. Yeah. Which is still pretty good. Still good position. I haven't used triple captain or anything yet. I've used the wild card, but
well, that's the thing. We got Dally Paul in the chat, who's 1500th, and he's used every single chip.
Fair enough. If you're 1500th and use all the chip, happy days, really, though.
Yeah, even James from Planet FPL, he's obviously doing the non-Haaland way, and he has used 2 chips. Is that right?
I think it's just bench boost and wild card, though. I don't.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So bench boost and wild card. So, and he's doing. Where is he now? 5,000, 6,000, something like that.
I think he had a bad week. I think it's like 11k. I think
11k. Yeah, he's doing phenomenally well. And like you say, when you've got the knowledge like you guys have when it comes to planning ahead and using the fixture tickers properly and looking at your transfers and going, this is the precise moment I want to get rid of these particular players, you're always going to do exceptionally well at this game. And like, without wanting to bring it up, but I'm assuming, like you said, regarding the gambling, you replace the gambling, which, whether you were good at it or not, because you've put that effort now into a game like this, it must really help you. It must be the reason why you do so well at this game, because of that planning and the probabilities of X, Y, and Z happening. Because I've seen your post on X and your predictions for what will happen, and they're normally pretty spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to plan them. Like, my free time is spent planning. As I say, like, it's the new addiction, which is a healthy addiction. I enjoy the planning side of it. I don't want to use any review tools or anything like that. I enjoy the planning. I use fixtures, and a lot of my decisions is based on fixtures. And a lot of like where I am now is pretty much where I'd expect it to be at this stage, in regards to how my team looks, because I really attacked the first six game weeks. Apart from the Visser injury, I'd probably have Visser on my team now if he didn't get that injury, because I bought him in my game week 4 wildcard. So apart from his injury, I'll probably have him and be another transfer up. But apart from that, it's how I want it to be. Yeah. So my plan's gone how I thought it would.
I mean, he's down to 5.9, Visser.
I like him a lot. And his fixtures are good as well. Yeah.
Ipswich at home, excellent fixture. Then we got Fulham away, not great. Bournemouth at home, decent fixture. Everton away, okay. But then Leicester at home. Those next 5 or 6, you're right, are very good for Brentford. And Brentford are scoring for fun at the moment. Talking of scoring for fun, while we come to the conclusion of this show, I'll just get your predictions for the upcoming game week, Andy, if you don't mind. We'll just give us the score of what you think.
I might need a charger soon. If I cut out, apologies, but it should be fine.
It's all right. It's all right. But we're coming to the end now. So what do you think on Leicester versus Nottingham Forest, the early kickoff?
Interesting game. I still think Leicester score at home under the lights. I know Forest defence is good, but it's kind of, I'm looking at 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Aston Villa Bournemouth?
I think Villa would have too much, but again, I see Bournemouth scoring. After midweek, I will say 2-1 Villa.
Brentford Ipswich?
Comfortable. I think Brentford turn up. 3-0, 3-1 for Brentford.
3-0, 3-1. Hopefully,
I'll say 3-0 Brentford. Yeah, why not? Hopefully, get a Flecking clean finally.
Yeah. Brighton versus Wolves.
Interesting. Wolves aren't as bad as you think. I hope Wolves do get some points soon. I think let's go 1-1.
And here's the big one: Man City against Southampton.
Yeah, 5-0.
I think 5.
You think more?
I have a feeling it's going to be less.
Do
It
you?
should be, thinking all logic, anywhere between 5 and 9. The way City are at the moment, it's
5
probably
and
going to...
9. Oh. You'd expect them to take the foot off the gas at 7 or something, right?
Yeah. I just have the feeling it's going to end up like 2-3.
Okay.
I just have this feeling, but in Super Brew, I'm going to be probably putting like 4-0.
I mean, if
Everton-
Southampton score again, that's like another clean sheet loss for City. It's unbearable, isn't it?
Yeah, that will be extreme. I mean, it'd be good for me because Dredd has got double defence, but from an FPL perspective, you're then relying on just attacking points from your defenders like the likes of Lewis and Vardy. Everton at home to Fulham, Andy.
Everton clean. I keep saying it. Free hit, triple Everton. 2-0 Everton again.
And Andy's good with his predictions, Jason. Listen in. Chelsea at home to Newcastle.
Free hit, triple City defence, triple Everton defence.
I don't know if I could justify it, man.
What's the next one?
I mean, triple Everton. What we've got to look at? Keane, Pickford, who?
Pickford, Mikolenko, Tarkowski.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Pickford, Mikolenko, Tarkowski.
And then Lewis, Gvardio, and Stones.
Not Foden.
5 at the back. No, triple City defence, triple Everton defensive and free hit.
What?
There we are, Jace.
5 at the
Andy's
back.
very good. Andy's definitely very good with his predictions.
Andy, send me your your free hit team. Via message.
Would you be putting a Chelsea asset into the team, Andy, where they're up against Newcastle?
Nicholas Jackson, by any chance?
No, probably I wouldn't be any Chelsea at all on free hit.
Oh.
Probably no away team on free hit.
What are you thinking, Chelsea versus Newcastle?
Newcastle, Chelsea. Chelsea do look okay though. So
They're not playing away. Chelsea at home.
oh, Chelsea at home. Sorry. Okay, Chelsea to win.
Bomber Jackson, surely.
2-1.
2-1. Yeah, I like that. Palace at home to Spurs.
3-1 Spurs there. I fancy. Do you think? I think that Glasner could be really under pressure if they lose again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there
Especially
are
at
problems
home.
there.
Yeah, if they lose at home on Saturday, I think the crowd could turn on Glasner though.
Yep, absolutely. West Ham at home to Man United.
Difficult one that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Manchester United though, which I don't like to say, but 2-1 Manchester United.
And then the real big one.
Who scores for Man United?
Yeah, who scores for Man U? Yeah, good question.
Garnacho.
Yeah, there we are.
And again, I think same too.
Get him in. Get him in. Free hit for 1 week.
Garnacho and Bone, Jace. And then
Oh my God. Garnacho and what about this? What about this one? Garnacho and Hoyland. Or Bruno Fernandes.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it.
and then Arsenal versus Liverpool.
I think people are going to be hot on Liverpool, but then Arsenal put in a performance and win 2-0 Arsenal.
Yes. That's what I want to hear.
2-0 to Arsenal. That's disgusting. How can you come out with such a thing? Steve, how can you say yes? Last season you were
I still am a Liverpool fan, yeah.
You were a Liverpool fan.
But I want Arsenal to do well. I want Arsenal to win the league.
I think it's hard to call that. There's some hard games to call though.
Change your mind like the win.
The only easy one is Everton clean. Jason.
The only easy one is hang on. How sure are you that Everton will get a clean sheet? Like, give me a percentage.
65%.
And that's the highest percentage of clean sheets. Hang on.
I don't know. I would City at 90%.
City. You're saying City and Everton are bankers, yeah?
Bankers, yeah.
Wow,
Everton banker.
What I can say, Jason, is that the history is on the side of a clean sheet. These are the last 6 results in all comps. 0-0, 1-1, 1-0 Fulham, 3-1 Fulham, 0-0, 2-0 Fulham. So actually, you want to be looking at triple Fulham defence.
Oh, the history's not with you there, Andy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Change my mind. Bassey in.
Oh my goodness.
Calvin Bassey on a free hit, Jason. There we go. Done.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, as it comes to the end of the stream, guys, everyone go check out Andy, friend of the show. Thank you, Andy, for coming on today and putting up with me and having. I mean,
I've been staring at Panda.
I've
been staring at Panda for like an hour, which is
Are
crazy. I didn't see my life like getting to this point.
I didn't realise that you could see the panda. Sorry, I didn't want to I didn't want to put you off, but this is my new identity on the show.
I respect it. We respect all identities here. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, I identify as a black and white panda because I'm no longer a red panda because I've changed the colours.
And is it goggles on your head?
It is. Look.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff.
And a green, right? FPL green.
Yeah.
In the stadium, all behind us. Right. But yeah, thank you, Andy, for coming on.
Have you both played your wild card? Just quickly, have you both played your wild card?
Yes.
Do you think I'd be playing with free hit if I had it? Oh God, Andy!
I thought you had this master plan of like Gameweek 12 wild card or something, but no. Okay.
Steve thinks I'm on a master plan to sabotage my team.
Sabotage this channel. I mean, I don't know.
The channel. Come on, we're getting record views, Steve. What are you on about? We're getting some big names in here. Let's have a poll. Is Jason sabotaging the channel? There you go, Steve.
Better still, put that in a comment on the replay. Put it on the comment.
Yeah, comment.
Do that
is
instead.
Jason sabotaging the channel by not trying?
I want to watch episode 5 of Game of Thrones. Come on, let's wrap
Okay,
up.
right, okay. Go check out Andy. Andy, where can we find you?
I don't want any more followers, particularly. It takes up
Oh,
my
God.
time. Sorry. It's FPL_tactician on X
Tactician.
or at the pier.
Yeah, go visit Andy at the pier instead. Fan.
If you just come and say the word panda at the pier to me, I'll give you a teddy.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Cool. So follow us Elite FPL at Elite FPL and go and join our Discord because it's where all the cool people are. With that said, thank you ever so much, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a wave, everybody. Go on, give them a wave.
Bye.
I can't wave. I can wave my tail then. Here we go.
Tail.
See you there. See you there. Bye. Oh god, it's cringy. This is so cringy. Oh, God.